Any actor that takes on a long-running role risks becoming associated with that character in totality. It's already happened to notable actors like Mark Hamill, who noted that Luke Skywalker had cost him several roles, and Daniel Radcliffe, who found it difficult to get out from under the shadow that is Harry Potter. Chris Evans, who portrayed Captain America for nearly a decade, is experiencing something similar now. For Evans, most of the 2010s were consumed with Marvel, which was a financially rewarding decision. But a look at Evans' career makes it difficult to see how it'll go in the future. Because besides his run as Captain America, most of his movies have been critical or commercial failures, and often both. Evans has been acting for more than 2 decades, with movies like 2001's Not Another Teen Movie, 2004's The Perfect Score, which was his first movie with future Marvel co-star Scarlett Johansson, and 2004's Cellular, which was a commercial success, one of his first and, outside of the MCU, one of his few. These were his beginning years, so he had to take on the roles that he could. 2005's Fantastic Four, where he played Johnny Storm and the Human Torch, was his first taste of massive success, and, perhaps portentously, it came in the form of a superhero movie based on characters by Marvel. Not just any characters, but characters that led to a return to popularity for Marvel Comics in the 60s. The movie cleared $333 million, and its sequel, Rise of the Silver Surfer, made $302 million at the box office a year later. Neither were well reviewed, though amusingly, Rise of the Silver Surfer did get better reviews than its predecessor. I'll chalk that up to the inclusion of the Silver Surfer, who, like his name, is rad. Evans continued acting regularly for another half-decade in movies like 2007's TMNT, 2008's Street Kings, 2010's Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and 2011's What's Your Number. These years were a mixed bag, with movies like TMNT, Street Kings, and Scott Pilgrim doing well, but most others flopping. Still, it showed some career progression. The movie started getting bigger, which shows that he was moving on up. Still, Evans was by no means a critical darling. 2011 was also the year of the big one. It was the year that he was introduced to the world as Steve Rogers and Captain America the First Avenger. The movie was the 5th entry in Phase 1 of the MCU, following Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor. It was a critical and commercial success, pulling $370 million at the box office. What Fantastic Four had done for Marvel Comics in the 60s, Phase 1 was doing for Marvel Studios in the new millennium, saving it from irrelevance. And Captain America was a core part of that. Finally, Evans was going to have a genuine string of hits on his hands, and they would propel him to A-list status. Still, Chris Evans, like many of his MCU co-stars, was not satisfied doing just Marvel films. He made sure to take on other creative projects as well, but they mostly got lost in Captain America's immense shadow. Between 2011's Captain America, the First Avenger, and 2019's Avengers Endgame, Evans had 10 films, excluding cameo roles. Of these, 5 were part of the MCU, and all were critical and commercial successes. The other 5 were 2012's The Iceman, which got mixed reviews and flopped at the box office, 2013's Snowpiercer, considered one of Evans' finest non-MCU movies, 2014's Before We Go, and Playing It Cool, both of which got negative reviews and flopped, and Gifted, one of Evans' few non-MCU movies that's been well reviewed and commercially successful. Since his run as Captain America ended, Evans' movies have, frankly, seen little to no success. After Endgame, he had 2 releases in 2019. The first was the Red Sea Diving Resort for Netflix, which got negative reviews. The second was Knives Out, a great movie with a stacked cast that won critical and commercial success, with plenty of love shown for Evans as the villainous Ransom. Evans, like several actors, had no releases in 2020 and 2021 thanks to the pandemic, but his return to the screen was as Buzz Lightyear in 2022's Lightyear, which, while getting decent reviews, was a commercial flop. The same year, he starred alongside Ryan Gosling in The Gray Man for Netflix, which got mixed reviews, but, according to Netflix, plenty of watch hours. 2023's Ghosted, where he stars alongside Ana de Armas, and Pain Hustlers, where he stars with Emily Blunt, were also met with negative reviews. To be fair, several of these are Netflix releases, so the metrics are different. Netflix focuses on hours watched, and movies like The Gray Man get plenty of viewers because they are, at the very least, entertaining. But we viewers are a fickle bunch. Being entertaining is the lowest bar you need to clear. Your movies also need to be good in order for people to keep watching you. His run with the MCU was good, even great, but outside of it, it's been a mixed bag, with the mix leaning towards disappointing. This isn't unique to just Chris Evans. Many of his MCU co-stars, like Chris Hemsworth and Tom Holland, have had a difficult time finding success outside of the MCU, while actors and actresses like Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson had established themselves long before the MCU rolled around. Chris Evans has one movie in post-production, Red One, but it's anyone's guess what the future holds for him. Whether the issue is Evans' acting or his choice of roles is the main question. I'm disinclined to say it's his acting. He was a great Captain America for the MCU and as Ransom in Knives Out. And if you're able to pull off two types of roles, you should be able to pull off more. Frankly, I think he needs to choose better projects. Whatever the case, I hope he does find his footing. It would be a waste of talent, especially one that's shown to be able to take on a physically demanding role for nearly a decade.